Hey guys, wanted to go over a couple articles that just popped up on CNBC. Let me know if you guys like this process. I've just been going to the front page, the home page there, and just picking out whatever grabs my attention. I could do it with Zero Hedge as well, but I've been trying to do it with CNBC because that's kind of more mainstream. And I think we already have an idea of what we're going to find on Zero Hedge, although some of the articles may be a lot more interesting. This kind of gives us the pulse of what's going on in the mainstream media without having to actually watch the mainstream media and get sick to our stomachs because of all the nonsense and bubble vision, as Bill Fleckenstein calls it. Okay, but this is something I just actually have experience with recently. And I give Elon Musk a lot of crap. So, but I want to be fair. I want to be totally objective. And I don't know anything about this business model. I know nothing about this business. I know what SpaceX is, but I don't know about the satellite business. But I do know this is a big problem. And I think if he can somehow solve it, or if anyone can, I think this is a huge opportunity moving forward. And as we go down in the story, I'll share with you the personal experience I've had with this just in the last couple days. So, and no, I haven't been able to get my lighting fixed. So it's still reflecting off my face, just for those of you who watched the last video. Okay, Elon Musk's SpaceX has widened the scope of the public beta test for its Starlink satellite internet service. Starlink's website emphasizes that pre-orders are fully refundable, notes fine print. Placing a deposit does not guarantee service. Company at first is offering Starlink to customers in US, Canada, UK. Elon says once we can predict cash flow reasonably well, Starlink will IPO. Okay. Initially, a lot of you will be thinking, okay, well, is this really needed? I mean, I can get internet. What's the big deal? What's the problem? And then you're kind of saying, okay, is this another, if you're skeptical of Elon Musk in the first place, are you saying, okay, is this maybe another scheme? I mean, it's kind of weird that he's taking orders up front. I mean, I kind of get it, but whenever anyone does that, I'm a little concerned. But here we see the problem this is trying to solve. Starlink is a SpaceX ambitious project to build an interconnected internet network with thousands of satellites, known in the space industry as a constellation, designed to deliver high-speed internet to consumers everywhere on the planet. And this is a problem. And let me tell you, I'll tell you my story. I've been thinking about touring the United States to do these meet and greets because I did one with Mark Moss a few months ago and it was incredibly popular. We had over 400 people try to RSVP. I did one for my birthday, as many of you know, just a couple weekends ago. Same thing. We had to cap it at 140 people. And we were filled after like 6 hours of me announcing it on my YouTube channel. I mean, if I would have promoted it for 2 or 3 weeks, who knows how many? I mean, we could have 400 or 500 people there. So I thought, well, this would be really cool to just go from, I don't have a family, I don't have a wife, I don't have kids. So wouldn't it be fun to go from city to city and just kind of meet people and answer questions and shake hands and say hello? And if I've got, kind of an interesting project that I may be working on, that's all I'll say. But I could go ahead and promote that project with these meet and greets. It'd be free and just be a lot of fun. And what I'd want to do is get an RV and, I'd put the whole wrap on it and the website, and it'd just be a lot of fun. The problem is, how do you maintain the YouTube channel? And normal people would never run into this problem because you're just downloading the internet, or you're just downloading movies or YouTube videos or podcasts or something like that, or pictures from your phone. And the speed doesn't matter that much. I mean, you can just get it on your phone. But the upload speed is crucial to what I'm doing when I do those videos. And you've got to have at least 30 or 40, I think it's megabits per second, or else it's just going to take you way too long to upload a video. The editors are never going to get it, and it's never going to go live. It would take me a week to do like one video, one 40-minute video, especially those whiteboards, because they're really heavy when I shoot them with this camera. This is the camera I shoot them with. It's just this real cheap Canon that I bought in Medellin. And on a side note, if you guys are thinking about starting a YouTube channel or a podcast, don't get too caught up in the tech and the equipment, because it doesn't matter. It's the content that matters. Even to this day, I just use super cheap cameras, super cheap lights. Obviously, I need to improve my audio, but that doesn't really have to do with my microphone. That has to do with this room that I'm in, that I can't put up any of the soundproof foam because I just rent this place. And I can't, it's I don't know what this condo would sell for, probably $1.2 million, something like that. So I can't just put up foam everywhere on $1 million condo and then just peace out at the end of 6 months. That's why the sound in here always kind of echoes a little bit. But regardless, you don't need expensive equipment. But my point is the files that camera records, very, very heavy. So I was thinking, okay, well, I'll just get satellite Wi-Fi. But the upload speeds and the download speeds are terrible with that. I mean, terrible. It's like dial-up back in the late 1990s. I mean, unusable almost. And I thought, well, shoot, I can't believe that no one's really thought of a way. I guess it's a tough fix if you think about it. And then sure enough, I see this article. So it's definitely a problem. And as more people move out to the sticks, if we see this movement continue and this trend continue of people leaving these high dense urban areas for farms and more rural areas, then more and more people are going to have a demand for high speed internet, but they're not going to be close to an internet connection. So I guess here's a good solution to that. Now, again, I don't know the business. I don't know if this is all smoke and mirrors. I don't know. I'm not here to comment on that at all. I'm just here to say that there's definitely a need for this, and this is a great idea. And if they can pull it off, I mean, more power to them. That's great. Then the question becomes, can they pull it off at a profit? And I guess if we read down further in the article, even Musk admits himself, and I would argue that Musk is a good business person, but his true talent is sales and marketing. That's where his true genius lies, is in sales and marketing. And even he admits that all the companies that have tried this before have gone completely bankrupt. And he says he hopes that they're not, or what does he say? He says Starlink is the right kind of business. Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, I thought it was right here at the end. Oh, here we go. Every new satellite constellation in history has gone bankrupt. We hope to be the first that does not. And that's from Musk himself. So coming from a salesman and a guy that's really good at sales and marketing, if he's that sober, you know that the probability is low that they pull it off. But if they do, more power to them. And there's definitely going to be an increasing need in the future for this type of service. And then, for humanity itself, I mean, just think about how amazing it would be if people all over the world and all these parts of Colombia, South America, Africa could get high-speed internet. I mean, that's a game changer. Really, really neat. And I hope that they pull it off. Okay, next article I wanted to go over is something I think touches, or that everyone's really interested in. And honestly, out of all the people at CNBC, this gal, although she's not perfect, whenever I hear her, at least she just kind of seems to present the facts. She doesn't which is what I like. But anyway, mortgage delinquencies sink to pandemic low, but distress is far from over. So what I was saying there is obviously a housing market type of story is relevant to most people who watch this channel, because we all either are renters or own a home that we're paying a mortgage on. So we're always interested in the real estate market. So just under 6% of all U.S. mortgages, 2.7 million homes, were in some stage of delinquency at the end of November, according to CoreLogic. Yeah, but everyone's no one has to pay. If you don't have to pay your mortgage, then yeah, that really helps the delinquency rate. We have all these the forbearance programs. Some 5.5%, 5.35% of mortgages are in forbearance. Oh, really? Wow, I would have thought it would have been a lot higher than that. Okay. Well, so 5.35% of mortgages are in forbearance, according to the weekly read from Mortgage Bankers Association. The vast majority of these, or 81%, are in extension of their initial 3-month period. Okay, well, that's not good. So I would be curious to know how many mortgages there are. So just under 6%. So 6% is 2.7. Okay, that gives us a read. So 6% is 2.7, then 5.35% is probably, whatever, call it 2.5 or something like that. So 2.5 million homes are in forbearance, and 81% of those, call it 1.8, something like that, 1.8 million homes are in deep doo-doo. Is what I would consider them. If they've gone past that 3-month trial, that means that they've really got problems. So 1.8 million homes hitting the market or having financial difficulty. And then you got to think, I mean, how many of those homes would be in forbearance if we didn't have stimmies? So, and I know everyone's thinking to themselves, well, we don't have to worry about that, George, because the government's going to do infinity stimmy or stimmy infinity. I get it. But we have to remember that stimmies don't fix the problem. And there's a good argument for them distorting the economy even further, right? Which does what? It prevents the economy from creating goods and services efficiently, which reduces the standard of living, which reduces the wealth, which, regardless of what the paper currency is, it would make it harder for people to potentially make those payments, especially if we have unemployment rate going through the roof. Now, the flip side of that is if we do get that type of inflation, because supply going down, currency units going up, then that would land on the balance sheet of the banking system, because they're the ones that are holding the bag on those mortgages, especially the 30-year fixed rate. But I mean, the Fed is just going to buy those at the end of the day. All the mortgage-backed sausages will most likely end up on the Fed's balance sheet, especially if they've gone through the sausage maker that is Fannie and Freddie. So a lot of cross currents here, to say the least. But I think it's all information that we should be aware of. So the largest share of troubled mortgages are those that are considered seriously delinquent or more than 90 days. Just under 4% are in deep trouble, compared to just over 1% the year prior, before the cerveza sickness. All right. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But again, I mean, okay, we're at 4%. What would it be without stimmies? And it is possible that that doesn't continue. It's all based on kind of the political system and how that works. And I'm by no means an expert there. But if they somehow came to like a gridlock where they couldn't get these things passed for whatever reason, or maybe we get inflation and they can't do stimmy checks. Maybe that's the irony, that maybe that's the ironic straw that breaks the camel's back, that what the Fed is trying to create, what the government needs, is what collapses the whole system. Because if they get that inflation, the inflation genie gets out of the bottle, then they're going to have to reduce the stimmies, because the stimmies exacerbate inflation. and then the Fed can't monetize the debt, that psychologically makes people think that there's going to be more inflation, and you have Gresham's law come into effect, which is people just giving up the or basically hoarding the good money, and basically buying commodities, buying hard assets, and just giving up the bad money, which is the fiat currency, which would again exacerbate the problem. So the consistent decline into serious delinquency since August is a sign of growing financial stability. Okay. Yeah, but is it though? I mean, the constant decline in serious delinquency since August is a sign of growing financial stability for families. Again, is it a sign of growing financial stability because they're economically on better footing, or is it a sign that they're just getting more stimmies from the government that over the long run will create an economy that is less sound? I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of parts of the economy that are opening up in many states, so that's good. That could lead to that. But again, a lot of cross currents. There's nothing cut and dry here. And I didn't go through this one, so I'm just kind of going over it in real time. Yeah, here you go. See, this is what I'm talking about. The proportion of long-term unemployed also remains troubling, with 4 million people who have been actively looking for work for 27 weeks or more. These are the homeowners who are likely to still be in forbearance and need additional support until the job market recovers to a greater extent. Until the job market recovers. Implicit in that statement is that the job market is going to recover. That this V-shaped recovery that we've seen in the stock market is reflective of what's happening in the real economy, and it's not. It's not. Listen, I was a business owner for many, many years. I was an entrepreneur, and if I go bust, which happened in several occasions when I was before I retired, that you're done. You're done. If you lose all your working capital, if you have to fire everyone, if you have to, if you can't continue with your lease and your other obligations, you can't just in 3 months, if the economy turns or if people say, oh, I got a vaccine, woohoo, off to the races. Well, that's good for you from a health standpoint, but I'm still broke. I don't have any employees. I don't have any money. So my business is gone. So are all those jobs, and those jobs aren't coming back until another person creates the same business and hires those people back. Now, is that going to happen? Maybe, maybe not. Is that going to happen in an environment where taxes are going straight up, where we're going to see more and more regulation, where we're going to see more and more uncertainty? I talked about that in my whiteboard video the other day. It's Keynes's view of animal spirits coming back. Okay, I get it. But are we going to have those animal spirits come back if everyone sees that the economy is built on just asset bubbles, debt, and confidence? If people start to become aware of this smoke and mirrors sideshow that is the Fed and the government right now, that's the only thing our economy is it's a smoke and mirrors game. So that doesn't instill a lot of the animal spirits that Keynes needs to get the economy back headed the right direction and to get those jobs back. So we'll go ahead and end it at that. Whenever you're looking at the housing market, I think the housing market, left to its own devices, the housing market in a free market, I think has a lot to do with the unemployment rate. And if we see extremely high, structurally high unemployment for a long period of time, you would think that that would show up in the housing market. Now, again, does it show up in nominal prices going down or just real prices going down? Who knows? We got to have a deleveraging, but we don't know if it's going to be an inflationary deleveraging or a deflationary deleveraging.